We are here and we are strong. Let's be counted as we move on. Make a difference, change lives as we tell our different stories. We are capable, beautiful. We are born to do great things. We're unstoppable, incredible, 'cause we're differently abled, differently.
The International Day of Persons with Disabilities 2024 highlighted the need of nurturing inclusive leadership. On this episode, we focus on individuals and organizations that focus on empowering children with disabilities through learning. My name is Jane Theory. Welcome.
'Cause we're differently abled, differently.
Mali Therapy Center celebrated the International Day of Persons with Disabilities at the National Museum of Kenya. Take a look.
It was an early Christmas for children from Mali Therapy Center as they celebrated the International Day of Persons with Disabilities 2024, which was themed, Amplifying the Leadership of Persons with Disabilities for an Inclusive and Sustainable Future.
When I think about this, as a person with a disability, I'm not just thinking about the possessions, I'm thinking about representation. And I'm asking myself, how are we ensuring, as we nurture young people, as we nurture children with disabilities, are we telling them that they can make it in life? Are we providing an inclusive environment that can nurture them to leadership?
Have been able to hear voices of the children living with disabilities. We have seen what therapy has done for them. And we have seen that with a lot of support from the government and other institutions involved, we can be able to even make greater strides.
Every child deserves the opportunity to thrive, and it's up to all of us to create a society where inclusion and acceptance is the norm.
This country has a lot to gain if we give respect and we give what belongs to the persons with disability. We are not going to go far if we ignore the call for inclusivity in everything that we do.
Children with disabilities face a lot of challenges, key being access to affordable therapy sessions.
When it comes to therapy, we are, unfortunately, as a country, light years behind the rest of the world. I have been told about families who live outside of the capital city who drive all the way to Nairobi and back twice a week for their child to receive 1 hour of speech therapy. There are families who have sold property, including their own homes, to take their children abroad for therapies that are not readily available in Kenya. Assistive devices, vitamins, medicines, and other necessary items to look after our children cost an arm and a leg and are not easily available in Kenya, so we must import them. When we do that, we are hit by KRA, adding to the never-ending costs associated with care. As for our education sector, we have fought for the minimal spaces for our children. Understanding and acceptance do not seem to be part of the curriculum for training of teachers. Our children are seen as troublemakers, are not worthy of the teacher's time, and thus get thrown out of schools more times than you can imagine.
With no data to account for children with autism, support from the government and other well-wishers is always limited.
According to WHO, an estimated 16% of the world's population experience significant disability, and this represents 1 in 6 of us. The autism spectrum disorder is estimated to affect about 1 in 100 children. Here in Kenya, when the 2019 census was conducted, it was estimated the proportion of the population with disability is at 3.5. We are yet to get disaggregated data on the different intellectual disabilities. We appeal to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, who in the 2019 census classified disabilities under different categories. Efforts should now be put into place to ensure that we get disaggregated data on the different intellectual disabilities, and it's collected and reported.
Despite challenges, people with autism have skills that can catapult them to great achievements.
As challenging as it may seem, there are many on the spectrum who have achieved amazing feats. ASD traits can contribute to accomplishing great things. There are many famous people who have used their strengths to achieve success, fame, or to break barriers. The likes of Bill Gates, Henry Ford, Sir Isaac Newton, Albert Einstein, Elon Musk, and even Lionel Messi have all been diagnosed with autism. And yet, despite the challenges, they are able to surmount many obstacles. Drawing on their interests, they've used autism as a gift and shared their respective interests with society.
With support from caregivers, the children live a dignified life.
You are the backbone of resilience, and your dedication goes beyond mere caregiving. You advocate for our children, you navigate the complex healthcare systems, and sometimes you sacrifice your own personal and professional life to ensure the well-being of the children.
Research indicates that most of children with autism enjoy support from their mothers compared to their fathers.
This is a message to men. Let's not disregard or disrespect our women when they give birth to children with disability. It's not a singular act. We are both involved, men and women. It's not about a curse. It's not about a cultural practices. When you give birth to a child with disability, both of you are responsible, and men should not delegate that responsibility to women. For men who are here, let's take that responsibility and let's not divorce or separate from our wives because they have gotten birth to children with disability. It's a very common practice all over the country.
As this year's theme aims at amplifying leadership, education plays a key role.
We have so many programs that are focused on empowerment, including the scholarships we have for children with disabilities, because unless they access education on an equal basis with others, then how do we fulfill the constitutional requirements? How do we ensure we have employees with disabilities? If we did not provide an inclusive environment for them to study, for them to have the skills, the employability skills.
Our biggest ask for our government is to help us create policies, especially on inclusive education. The biggest challenge of any caregiver is taking their child to school. I'm telling you, it is not that the schools don't want us, but it is because that they are not facilitated to be able to take care of the needs satisfactorily. So if we are able to get a curriculum that is able to accommodate our children, if we are able to have therapy centers in schools, then we are able to talk of inclusion even in our education system.
As we strive to meet the goals set in this year's theme, all stakeholders have a part to play.
As the government of Kenya strives to create an inclusive society where children with disability can fully participate and thrive through the State Department of Social Protection and Senior Citizen Affairs in the Ministry of Labor, and CPWD. We applaud you for your efforts in registering our children, but we want to urge the Council, please increase your efforts in creating awareness of the different services that you provide beyond registration. Let the people sit here today know the different interventions you had, including access to special education, access to government subsidies and support tailored specifically for the person with disability in the fields of education, healthcare, training, and empowerment.
We would like an increased commitment by our government to take action to improve the quality of life of people with autism. The Ministry of Labor and Social Protection to provide guidance on policies and action plans that address autism within the broader framework of health, mental and brain health, and disabilities. The Ministry of Health contributing to strengthening the ability of the health workforce to provide appropriate and effective care and promote optimal standards of health and well-being for people with autism. The Ministry of Education to expand its curriculums to include training of teachers to work with children on the spectrum and more integrated schools. The National Treasury to look into ways to exempt caregivers from taxes of goods and services necessary for our children, and to also include these families in the list of those eligible for financial aid.
We welcome all stakeholders. There is a new program, the Autism program, that the National Council for Persons with Disabilities, we are supporting with so many ways. There is need for more awareness. There is more need also for partners to come up, because for therapy and all these things to work for persons with autism, we need one another. We are open to partnership. We are looking to have decentralized therapies in the local places. We want to partner with the public, we want to partner with the private, so that together we can make the lives of persons with autism in this country better and easier for everyone.
We now take a short break, but we'll be right back with more. Don't go too far.
'Cause we're differently abled, differently.